Well, good morning and welcome to yoga practice. So I'm so glad we could do this today. I thank you for carving out a little time for yourself. And the plan for today. So I have a block and a towel over there. We're actually going to start standing today, but that doesn't mean you can't have your blanket or your pillow or whatever you might want to sit on later. So I'd like for this to be a full expression of our body, of course, tending to anything that is particular to you. So if you've got a back thing or a piriformis thing or a shoulder thing or a foot thing, you should always be mindful of that. Some of the poses are more beneficial and some detrimental. And until you know what you shouldn't do, you do it with caution and prudence because yoga is about you. It's not about doing what I suggest. It's about what internally your body is willing to try. And then to understand this is a good thing or this is not a good thing. So we all have certain issues with our body. Yeah, me included. We all have certain issues with our body, and so we just need to tend to them. So let's think about today as kind of a self-care and self-awareness, that should always be the case. Let me put my hair back out of my face. So we come to our practice, as I said, standing. And when we're standing, you can face any way on your mat. You can be at the end of your mat, the short end, or I'm going to be facing on the long end because I feel that's a better view and experience for you. So thanks for coming. Let's come to Namaste. So I come and stand on my mat like a mountain, rooting the feet as they're parallel, rooting the toes, the heels, the outer, the inner edges with the feet. Yes, I do talk with my hands. Imagine your inner thighs are drawing together for a little stability to use your muscles. Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor energy, the lower belly. Lower belly is like a zipper. And then feel that your heart is lifting because, gravity is pulling us down. So if you kind of lift up the heart, not draw it back, just lift it up a little, relax through the neck and the shoulders. And then I always propose the fingers actively reach to the earth while the crown of the head lifts to the sky. So if you were to see yourself profile, you would want to avoid any stooping or any hip pulling forward. Yeah, I'm the hip pulling forward person, so I have to be mindful not to tuck my bum under as I was trained all those years in dance class, but to kind of have that natural curve through my spine. As you're standing, you can have, as usual, the eyes opened, lowered, or closed. And when they're closed, you'll probably notice that sway, that bit of movement. And here I want you to breathe. All your awareness comes to your breath. Noticing the length of your breath and let it become longer and bigger. Really pushing the air out. Really drawing the air in. Feeling the body tighten as it expels and floats open when it takes breath in. Now, if this becomes a feeling of lightheadedness to you, just come to that natural breath, but notice things change with the breath. And sometimes you notice the beating of the heart, your circulatory system. And occasionally you may need to go back and make sure you're using muscles to hold the bones up. Check the shoulders are not holding tension. And let's take 3 more rounds of breath. As you finish that last breath, flutter your eyes open and position your hands on your side. Step your feet a little bit wider than your hips are. And then from here, we're going to kind of do a little hula. This one's really nice, especially in the morning after you get up from sleeping, to bring a little energy into your sacrum and low back. So the upper body is quiet and it's just the waist. Go the other way. Still in the presence of our breath. And now with those legs straight, kind of push your hip this way and then push the hip the other way. This one probably is not going to go as far as if you were allowed to bend your knees. And make sure nothing is hurting. This is not a practice of pain. It may feel uncomfortable sometimes to hold poses, but never pain. So now I'm going to go ahead and bend what would be your left knee, pushing the hip out, letting my right hand slide down on my thigh. Take your left hand on your shoulder and push that shoulder back, as there is a tendency to fall forward. So left hip out, left shoulder back, support your back with your hand on your thigh, and then stretch left arm up towards sky. Traditionally, we look up, but if you don't want to look up, look forward or maybe look down. Just keep moving into the pose. Slowly releasing the high arms, slowly coming back up. Let's do a few hulas again. Things might change. Go the other way. And now I'm going to go ahead and bend what would be your right knee and push my right hip out. Slide my left hand down for support to my back. Use my right hand to double check that I'm open and not forward. You could be open. And then as you're all supported, reach for the sky, push the hip out a wee bit more. Feel the sense of opening or enlarging with the breath. Releasing the high hand with support of your bandhas. Come back up. This time we'll just kind of bend the knees as we tick-tock our hips from side to side. Getting a little stretch down that spine. And then I'll do a pelvic rock. We know this as the cat and cow. Let me turn sideways just for a moment. You're good where you are. So I drop the tailbone, tighten my belly, rounding my low back, rounding my shoulders. Stick out the tailbone, lift up my heart. So I'm dropping, tucking, lifting, and opening. It is the cat and cow. It's a standing version, not a kneeling version, not one where we're propped on our thighs. So just draw that tailbone down, tighten in through your belly, maybe drop your head a little, and then stick out your heart and stick out your bum. See how your breath supports the movement, breathing out in the cat, breathing in the cow. Okay, let's grab a block, possibly. If you don't have a block or a box, I used a box at home for a long time. One or two is fine, and if you put it on the tall side and it's too tall, you can always turn it on the side or turn it on the flat side. So I have it in front of me. So I'm going to start doing some forward folds. So Uttanasana is the Sanskrit. And so I'm going to make my feet go a little wider than they were. Before they were wider than my shoulders. Now I'm going to take them even wider than that. Yeah, maybe I'll kind of see how my hips are feeling here. You feel that pull into the groin area. So your legs should be straight. Remember, if you know that your knees hyperextend, they go back a little bit. Some people are just made that way. Have a little softness in your knee, but otherwise straight legs. So thumbs at the small of your back. Draw the shoulders, I kind of roll them around and lift up my heart. And then let the hands slide forward on my thighs. So let's just say you didn't have a block or anything to put your hands on. Well, thank goodness you have your legs. So you lean out on your toes so you feel the heels could lift. Stiffen your elbows so your hand's above the knee. Now, if you didn't have blocks and you wanted to go further, you would just go down the legs, using them for support to your back. If you did have a block or something in front of you to use, you would use it. Go ahead and stay there a few breaths as I turn sideways so you can see really where I went with this. My hips didn't go back. I'm trying to keep them up over my ankles. And then my hands come down somewhere. So this first forward fold, noticing how the back of your legs are feeling. Changes in a little bit of blood pressure. So you're probably leaning on your arms on something or yourself. So imagine the big pillow between your legs. Move your hands onto your back where you had them before with your thumbs. Squeeze that pillow that lends support to your back and slowly make your way up. Check blood pressure. So from here, you can do an extension, which for tradition would be lifting the chest. Some people with concerns on back bending might want the hips to go forward a little bit, so you just go back or not. And then again, Uttanasana, so we go to our second forward fold. Again, using your hands on your thighs, on your shins, on your ankles, on a block, maybe changing your block so you're a little bit further. And this is a hinge. I've not rounded forward. I've just kind of bent over at my hip joint. Check that you can lean into your toes. Find your breath. So we're going to do this twice more. Don't be anxious to go further than your body is ready for. Squeeze that imaginary pillow. Remove your hands to your back, and when you come up, either wait or do another back bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we go forward third time, using all the options available to you. So I'm probably not going to use the block on this one. I'll bring my hands down. Now begin letting the head drop. That will make your upper body round a bit. That's okay at this point. By hinging previously, we have protected that low back. Squeeze the pillow, that imaginary pillow. Remove the hands to the back. Mindfully draw up with care, attention, and focus. Wait at the top or one more back bend. And one more forward fold. Go down where down allows you to go. So we're going to come up a little differently. Keep your hands either on your legs, the block, or the floor, and bend your knees. Now move your hands up onto your thighs with your knees bent. Bow your head and roll up. So it's a bit of a spine stretch. Once you're up, pause with your hands back to your sides. Turn to your left foot, wherever that is. Turn to your left foot and bend the knee. So bending the knee in the direction of the ankle, keeping the body up. We're opening into, yes, it's warrior two. Straighten up the leg. You don't have to be on this part of your mat. You could be off on the floor. Turn that left foot in. Turn your right leg out. Keep your body facing the way it was, not to turn toward the front leg. Bend the right knee. Keep feeling it bent and look over so you can't see your toe. There you go. And again, we're working in through the groins. And slowly come back. Now let's walk the feet together little by little by little by little. Shake things out. So now we're somewhat warmed up. Bring the hands into the heart. Cultivate the attitude of gratitude. And then let's open the arms to the side. So I'm going to turn or twist. A couple ways that body will do that. One is the whole body will go with you. So you see my hips have turned, I'm wiggling on my feet, my body is turned and my arms have come around. That's one way. The other way is I don't turn at my hips, I let my ribs turn around. So my hips didn't go, my hips stayed. Here, if I pull this up here, you would see this stayed and that stayed. So let's see if we can do the one where we anchor the pelvis. Maybe think I'm standing behind you holding the hips so they can't go. Lift your ribs off your hips, stretch the arms, and just turn to one side as able without letting your pelvis move. So you may not go completely to the side. You see, I'm not. Return back center, rest the shoulders. We'll try the other side. Now, if you feel the work happening in the back, that would be appropriate. Root the feet, hold the hips still, or imagine me holding them for you, because I would do that for you. Open the arms, anchor the shoulders, lift the ribs off the hips, and now go your other way. Doesn't matter which way, just go the other way. Now the hips are going to want to go, but keep your headlight shining forward. Find your breath. And return back center and relax the arms. So let's do kind of a little figure 8, or if you'd rather do the hula again. So just noticing how the back is always participating, and the way you support the back is by zipping your zipper, activating the Uddiyana action. So you can always come to kind of a gyration kind of thing. Okay, let's step to the front of our mat. You can bring your block out of the way, though you won't need it, and we'll do a slow flow. I'm not a speedy person anymore. I like to be mindful and appropriate, and I want to find the poses. So we'll be doing some extensions, some folds, some into lunges, some chaturangas, some down dogs, some three-legged dogs, things like that. I'm not going to go that fast. So I know some are visual, so if you need to watch the first time through, feel free. If you need to go to child's pose anytime when we're flowing, you can go there because waiting is an option. All that said, come to the front of your mat. Tadasana. So we already had Tadasana. Find it once more. It's a great pose. Let the arms float up. Watch your space. And bend over by bending the knees and putting the hands on the mat next to your feet. Lifting your chest and your head, looking slightly outward. Do your right foot back, and then it slide, 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 slide. Left knee staying above the ankle, just like we did in that warrior, but this time the back heel is up and the hips drop down, opening through the front of your thigh. Lifting the hips, bending the back leg, pushing off. Again, dropping the hips and lifting the chest, looking up. This time, left foot takes the travel back, 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 wiggle, wiggle. Right knee stays above the ankle, press through the heel, lift with the chest, bandhas and breath. Lifting the hips, bending the back leg, pushing off, stepping forward, squeezing your legs, releasing your arms, coming all the way up, check in, check in, check in. Arms all the way overhead, hands to your heart. Breathe in, the arms go up. Breathe out, bend the knees and touch the earth next to your feet. Breath in, lift up your chest. Breath out, right leg goes back again, deep, 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 long. Ground your feet, engage your bandhas. When ready, with the help of your thigh or not, stand up to crescent pose. Let's take the arms to the side, go deeper, and then squeeze the back leg a little straighter. Breathe in, the arms go up. Breathe out, the arms go down. Breathe in, the hips go up. Breathe out, bend the back knee, push off, step forward. Squeeze the legs, release the arms, rise slowly, mindfully, returning to the extended mountain pose where hands come together and into our heart. Breath in, arms up. Breath out, touch the floor with your hands next to your feet, bend your knees. Drop the hips, lift the chest, look forward, strong back. Left foot now steps back, go deep, go long, keep the right knee bent above the ankle. Ground into your feet, engage your bandhas. Standing up, open your arms. Squeeze the back leg straight. Crescent pose. Breath in, arms up. Breath out, fingers down. Hips go up when you breathe in. Bend the back knee, push off and step forward. Breathe out. Squeeze your legs, rise mindfully. Breathe in until the hands come together and touch. And breathe out, hands at your heart. Keep your hands at your heart. Hips go back, you lean forward. Right foot steps back, wiggle. Now drop that back heel. And my back toe is on a diagonal, not turned straight out to the long side of the mat. Check your front knee. I'm behind myself. I'm going to bend that knee so I get right over my ankle. Lift up your heart with hands in prayer. Roll into pinky toe side. Reach the arms forward in Virabhadrasana 1. Arms overhead. Hands back to heart. Lean forward, flip the back heel up, and step the back foot up. Inhale, go all the way up, and hold it, hands at heart. Other side, bend the knees, lean forward. Left foot now steps back hip distance, but don't settle for less when you can have more. Track the right knee, drop the back heel. Lift the hands and heart together. Roll into the pinky toe. Feel that your hips and your chest are pointing forward to the front leg. Extend the arms forward. Breathe. Raise the arms overhead. Virabhadrasana 1. Palms come together and back to your heart as you lean out, flip your back heel up, step your back foot forward. Lift all the way up, open the arms, open the heart. Hands to your heart. Namaste. Bend the knees, lean forward. Back to your right foot, it steps back, it goes back, and then it anchors. Drop the right heel. Put your left hand on your left thigh. Reach your right arm forward. Right arm can either, depending on your shoulder, go out to the side or up overhead. Keep looking forward as that right arm makes its way behind you. Reach for behind you, reach behind you until you feel your chest coming up and your left arm floats above your left leg. Virabhadrasana 2. So lots of energy, reaching through the fingers, shoulders down, front knee really bent, really opening into those groins. Shifting forward, put that left hand down on your thigh. Again, the right arm can come over your head, but if that's uncomfortable, bring it around the side until it comes forward. Back heel comes up, step up, hands to heart, burst all the way up, open the arms, open the heart, big breath. Hands back to the heart, and namaste. Bend the knees and tip forward. Left foot now takes a step back. Keep wiggling it while you're leaning forward. Drop the left heel, right hand on your right thigh, track your right knee. Left arm reaches forward. Again, a shoulder issue may preclude you going overhead, so go around the side. As that arm goes back, you come up. Do you feel that arm turn you? Turn the body, reach back, Keep reaching. It lifts the right arm deep and into Virabhadrasana too. So I see a lot of people do the warriors where they're lurching. So draw back, have that warrior with a bit of attitude. Shift forward, right hand on your thigh. Left arm comes over or around. Lift your back heel and go down to the mat where you're on your hands and toes. Yes, a plank. Hips are not high, hips are not low, hips are just right. For those who say, I don't like being on my palms, be on your knuckles. Keep your chin up. Identify where the power and the challenge is in your plank. Squeezing the imaginary pillow between your legs, zipping your zipper, and breathing. Taking our first child's pose, the knees soften down. I always park my knees. You can leave the hands in front. You can move the hands under your head. You can put the hands behind your head in prayer. You can put the hands behind your back. So as you come into the child's pose, see what it offers you. Not only a physical pause, but how is that mental assessment? So this is where you remind yourself, hey, no judgment here. I'm just going to try things, see how it feels. Reaching your arms forward, and I usually mark where my arms should be by taking my finger, pinky finger to the edge of the mat, and that tells me that's a good distance. I still see people with their hands a wee bit too close together. So that's where I mark my hands. Rise up onto the hands and knees, turn your toes under, downward dog. Now our first dog, because we have worked into the hamstrings, could be a straight leg dog. But hamstrings could be kind of your problem tight area. So maybe you'd prefer to bend the knees to get that beautiful length out of your spine. So if you imagine I was with you, I grabbed a hold of your hips in a non-creepy way, and I lifted those hips upward, taking the pressure off your shoulders and the freedom out of your spine to lengthen it. Maybe that will be useful to you. If it's easy for you to be in your down dog with straight legs, cultivate a sense of pride. Dwell in your breath. Soften the knees, return to your child's pose. Sometimes child's pose can be a place where you kind of digest an experience. Like, that was hard, that was easy. I think this was, you're processing. So giving yourself a little time to process. Back to downward dog. You're going to stand on your left foot, really anchor that foot as that will be helpful to your shoulders, she said. And then pick your right foot up in the air, keeping it straight for the three-legged dog. Remember, variations are available. The back leg straight, toe down, one option. The toe turned out, the hip goes a little bit higher, another option. Three-legged dog, the arms are straight, the legs are straight. Downward dog, both feet down. If you need a moment in child's pose, you can go there or stay in down dog. From your down dog, stand and root into your right foot. Pick up the left foot, the leg is straight. Toe is down or toe is open. Downward dog, and let's all come back to the child's pose, just because. Sometimes it's a nice rest for the wrist. Sometimes it's a needed thing for the shoulders. And sometimes you just want to go there. We'll be doing a few more of the three-legged dogs with a little more focus on our core. So give yourself a couple more breaths. Come back to your downward dog, hand placement, hips up. Stand on your left foot, lift your right leg up. This will be breath in. Then you're going to bend the right knee, move it forward, and let it touch your right elbow. Knee to elbow. Back to a three-legged dog. Right knee comes under your body and touches the left elbow. Back to a three-legged dog. Let's try the right elbow again. Look up, right knee, right elbow. Push back, three-legged dog. Right knee under the body, touch the left elbow, get it up. Push back, three-legged dog, to downward dog, to child's pose. So again, to rest the wrist, to kind of check in with how was that experience, knowing the other side is before us. Okay, extend the arms, toes under, hips up, down dog. Stand on your right foot, lift up your left leg, breathe in, breathe out, left knee, left elbow, look up. Push back, three-legged dog. Left knee under to the right elbow. Push back, three-legged dog. Left knee, left elbow, look up. Push back, three-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow under the body. Three-legged dog. Downward dog. Child's pose. Well done. And let's come to a seated position facing one another. This is where if you wanted to sit on a blanket, you know, something you could. I'm in Sukhasana, my ankles are crossed. You don't have to sit like this if your knee doesn't like it. You could have your legs out. You could take a block, sit on your block. You can sit on the block with your knees underneath. Just take a seat. So as we're sitting, we're going to move our head forward, like you can't hear me. What did she say? Then you're going to move the ear like, what did they say? Then you're going to be shocked by what they said and pull your head back. And then someone over here said something and you leaned over to think, what? And then come back center. So we're going to go forward, sideways, center. Forward, sideways, center, the other way. It's not the body leaning forward. It's the use of the neck muscle. So sit yourself comfortably. If you need to sit in a chair, that's okay. Nice and tall, bandhas, breath. So lean forward, the chin juts out. Over to your left, A. Chin back, head back. Ear to right side for you. And back center. And it may be that one of those planes is like, that's awkward. That's okay, we'll try it other way. Chin juts forward. So my body is still here, just my neck's out in front. Off to your right side. Strain to listen. Chin to the chest, head goes back. Ear to your left side, strain to listen. What? And head up. So that's one way to move the head. Now you do see people do neck circles. Never been a fan of that. I know there's really important stuff in my spine. I don't know that I want to be rolling around on that axis. Doesn't mean that you can't use it, because those muscles will get tight and then your ability to move your head becomes less and less and less. But let's be prudent about it. If you want to roll your head around, you go ahead. I'm always cautious of my head going back. So for me, I'm not going to, I know, look, I could drop my head back. I know I can do that. I just don't know if I really want to. I think I'd like a little higher lift. So for this one, we nod the chin. Watch for a minute. Nod the chin. Drop the ear, lift the chin but not drop the head back, and then roll the other way and then back down. So you're going to say, hey, Karen, that's a head circle. Yeah, it is, but I've been a little more mindful, and here's something you can do if you have concerns. Put your hand there so that when you go around, there's no way you can drop your head back because your hand kind of is a block. Okay, we'll do that once each way. Nod the chin, left ear, left shoulder, lift the chest, look up if you can, keep going around, right ear, right shoulder, nod the chin, pause there. How are the bandhas? Left ear to left shoulder, lift the chest, look up, left ear, left shoulder, or did I already say that? Go the other way. And then nod the chin back down. Okay. Bringing the head back up. Okay, let's do a little bit for the shoulders. Bring the arms to cactus. If you need to situate yourself differently how you're sitting, go ahead and change that. So cactus arms. The elbows are up, shoulders are down. So there are a couple of ways that the shoulders can move here. They can elevate and depress, and they could protract and retract. So I'm going to leave my elbows bent in cactus rather than down here. I could do the same thing, but it just gives you a little more meaning of where my shoulders are working. So elevate your shoulders. Pull the shoulders up. I don't know, I just work here. Now pull your shoulders down. And so you see by the shoulders going down, my elbows move in tandem. Then bring my shoulders forward, my arms kind of go forward, and then move my shoulders back. So there will be a tendency to want to move your arms, but just focus on the shoulders, and the arms, trust me, will follow. Elevate your shoulders, depress your shoulders, move your shoulders forward, move your shoulders back. Now use the arms to extend the shoulders. So elevate the shoulders and elevate the arms. Shoulders are up. This is not how I usually have us go. And then draw the shoulders down and the hands go down. And then move the shoulders forward and the arms go forward. And then move the shoulders back and let the arms go back. That's probably the hardest one, right? And back to cactus. Once more. Shoulders go up and arms go up. Shoulders draw down and arms go down. Shoulders move forward and arms go forward, separating the shoulder blades. Shoulders draw back and elbows pull back. And rest. So a little bit through the upper body, which is always important. So now let's go through some chaturangas. What? Yes, push-ups, oh yay. So if you're sitting on something, blanket, block, move it out of the way. So we'll be going from that standing, try not to use your hands when you come up. We'll be going down into a plank, elbows in from knees or toes, go down, and then your choice of baby cobra, cobra, or rolling up onto your tops of your feet and straightening the elbows. All of those begin with no pushing of your hands. It is very intuitive to want to push yourself up. Begin the work by engaging the muscles of the back and then apply pressure if you're choosing one of the latter two options. After we do the cobra up dog, we'll come back down. We'll elevate the hips a bit from knees or toes, push up to a down dog, lift one leg, swing it through and step up, and we'll go the other side a few times. That's the plan. Tadasana. Arms lift as you breathe in, bend the knees as you breathe out, step back to a plank or a push-up position. From the knees or from the toes, chin up, elbows in, lower your chest and hips, relax the feet. Baby cobra, cobra, or up dog, and come back down. Toes under, hips up from knees or from toes. Press yourself through the plank and up to down dog. Let's do the right foot up as you breathe in. Raise your left heel up, bend the right knee, look forward. Do the best you can to step the right foot forward, followed by the left foot. Squeeze the legs, release the arms, come all the way up. Extended mountain. Bend the knees, touch the earth. Step back into a plank or a push-up again, from knees or from toes. Elbows in, you go down. Baby cobra, cobra, up dog, and back down. Toes under, hips up, either be the knees or the toes. Press up into your plank and into your down dog. Stand on your right foot, lift up your left foot. Raise the right heel, bend the left knee. Do the best you can, swing and step that left foot up, followed by the right foot. Release, squeeze, and rise. One more time each side. Down you go. Step to your plank. From knees or from toes, elbows in, down you go. Baby cobra, cobra, up dog, and down. Toes under, hips up from knees or toes. Push yourself up and into a down dog. Right leg lifts when you breathe in. Raise the left heel, bend the right knee, swing and step forward, followed by the left foot. Squeeze the legs as you rise one last time. Bend the knees, put the hands down. Step back into your plank or push-up. From knees or toes, elbows in, down you go. Baby cobra, cobra, up dog. Down you go. Toes under, hips up, knees or toes. Press up to plank, downward dog. Stand on your right foot, lift up your left foot. Raise the right heel, bend the left knee. Swing and step the left foot up. Step the right foot up. Squeeze the legs. This time, bring the hands together and float them into your heart. So you may have noticed a little increase in your heart rate. That was by design. So if you have a strap, I'm using a towel, please grab it. So I'm taking opposite ends so I can get the length out of it. It's time for our standing balance pose. Now, if you find this one to be challenging, you might want to sally up next to a wall. So if you stood with your back against a wall, it would give you a little extra stability because you're going to be holding a strap or a towel. Don't have a towel? Quick, run to your bathroom and get a hand towel. That's all you need. For those of you who haven't done this before, you really root into the one leg and you'll find that perhaps one leg is easier than the other. You take your strap, and if you're holding a strap, make sure you hold the buckle in one hand and adjust the length with the other so that that buckle doesn't hit you, it hurts. So you're going to bend one knee. You'll put the foot into the strap or the towel. You'll stand up. So this is an important part, it's your transition. From here, you'll straighten the leg. And you want that leg straight. Just imagine if you were laying on your back, this is the same thing, right? Then you'll bend the knee, let go of the towel, and put the foot down. Okay, everybody with me now? Let's do this. We'll do it a couple times on each side. You'll find that you're going to do better and better. So it doesn't matter which leg, you can mirror me or you could just keep track of your own legs. Be in Tadasana, the foundation of most of our poses. Shift your weight onto one leg and bend the other knee. Do a little hinge forward so that you can get that strap or towel down and set that foot in at the ball of your foot. When ready, all you do is stand up. And then your eyes have to readjust. Find something to stare at. It's okay, you could stare at me, I don't mind. And then you extend the leg forward, pulling up and breathing. Try and make that extended leg as straight as possible. Bend in the knee. Go ahead, let go of one side and put the foot down. Reattach yourself to your towel or strap, and we do the other side. Root down on the opposite leg, the one that was just bent, and bend your other knee. Hinge or lean forward such that you can pick up the other foot and set it into your strap or towel. Then standing up, and then notice it's the other leg. How's this going? Better? Not better? Focus and breathe. When ready, extend out your leg. Go ahead, bend the knee. I always, if I have a strap, hold the strap side with the buckle and then step down. Back to your first side. We'll be alternating. Root down, pick up the other knee, lean a little forward, pick up your foot, stand up tall. When ready, extend. Try not to lean back. Keep breathing. Bend is in breath. Go ahead, bend the knee. Let go one side. Tadasana. Rebind. Second side, second time. Root. Lift heel. Hinge forward. Set your foot on the strap or the towel. And stand up. When ready, extend. Go ahead, bend in the knee. And you know, if when you're doing that, you fall out of it, nothing bad happens. You know, if you were here and did this and then had to like do that, that's okay. That's your body learning to find muscles to balance with. So it's all good. All right, keep your towel or strap. We're gonna go down on the floor and we're gonna use it for our hip openers for some of you. Some of you won't need it. Don't use your hands. So here's if you were to do this, and I think we did it not too long ago. So when you're on your back, feel free to watch a moment, and you cross your legs. If I were to reach up and I couldn't reach one foot, usually it's the under leg, I might want to put a towel or a strap around that ankle to extend so I can reach it. So my goal is to be able to have my feet on opposite sides by crossing my knees. Here, I'll hold the pant legs up. We have done this before, so I'm crossing my knees. I lift up. Maybe I grab my ankles, and if you're able to grab the feet, great. The tendency is for people to drop their feet or to lift their bum. But let's just do one thing at a time. So here's for people who say, I can't get my foot. Yes, you can. We'll put something around it, and you can get it. Once you have your feet, flex the feet so they're active, not just twisted and passive. And then two things will happen. One is imagine my foot is under your tailbone, and I want you to push the tailbone down to squish my foot. So that puts a little arch in your back. So that's one component. The other one is to pull the feet down, not to your bum, but out to the side. So your feet most likely are going to be in your peripheral vision. Are you lifting your back up, putting your tailbone down, pulling on the sides of your ankles or your feet? Even if you were here, you could do here. And rest. So those of us who are using a towel probably are going to want it on the other side, maybe kind of, sort of. Usually one side needs it, the other side doesn't. So now you cross your other leg, and if you can't reach that foot, that's where you put the towel or strap around so that you can. And as you look, your knees are crossed as best they can with the feet out to the side. Active feet, not twisted feet. Flex your feet. Drop that tailbone that moves your legs away from you, and then apply pressure to the outside of the feet or pull on that strap, whichever you have, and breathe. So for some, this is really going to be hip, and for some, it's going to be a little more glute. So you get to be you. Keep arching your back, keep applying pressure with your hands. And release. So I hope you still have your towel with you, and I'm going to have to change sides because of this fireplace here. So you're going to put your foot in the strap or the towel, and you're going to move the leg to the side. Well, of course, if my leg is up here and my leg goes out here, my whole body wants to turn. Your job is to not let that happen. So once you have your leg up and it goes out to the side, don't let the opposite hip pull up so that you roll. Anchor that hip down, and sometimes with this knee bent, pull it the opposite way, so it's kind of a ballast to you. We're going for an inner thigh stretch, and so some of us, with the use of a towel or a strap, you hold two ends together, and then sometimes you can pull it up a little bit, so you get a little more. It just depends on you. And yes, you can use your elbow as a little kickstand. So as you're holding on to the strap or the towel, your leg is passive and suspended. See, I'm pulling my other knee back, because if it went this way, it would make me roll. So let's all get on our backs, bend the knees. If you went there, come back. Pick one leg, the other knee is bent. Can you get that leg straight? Hopefully you have enough towel length or strap length to do that. Whichever leg is up, hold both ends of the strap or towel in the same hand. Now the other hand can go to the hip that's going to stay down as a reminder. Slowly let that leg open out to the side. You see I'm letting my elbow hit the floor and then hold as my leg continues outward. And then for some, pulling the foot upward is also a thing. Sometimes when I have a strap, I reach over my head because the strap is so long and I can pull my leg up higher. So you should be feeling from your pelvis to your knee. There's a couple ways to get out of this. One is to use the strap or towel and bring it back up. The other is to let go of the strap, let your leg fall to the floor and just sweep around. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, other side. I've got to move because I don't have space over there. I would run into my fireplace, so always take care of your space. Okay. So, foot on, leg up, hold both ends, other knee bent, open the leg, park your elbow, and lift that leg if you can. The leg that's in the towel or the strap is very passive. Both of your hips are down on the mat. Leg is straight. You should be feeling that inner thigh. Go ahead and release, so you can pull it up like I said, or let go and let it come down. This one's a little tricky, and I want you to pay attention because what I'm going to say is important. We're going to, again, put the strap or towel over one foot. The leg will go up, but instead of going out, it's going to go across your body. What happens is gravity wants to pull it toward the floor. You're not going to let that happen. In fact, sometimes in my classes, I will take a block and put it out there, so if the foot came down, it would go no further than the block because of your hip. So when my leg is up, my hip is going to get a big stretch as it goes over. So I don't want it to go further than it needs to. I just want it to go outward, and I'm going to push my foot into the strap or the towel, at the same time pull my hip back. And because my arm is a corresponding limb like my leg, let's just say here's my leg, you got it? And my leg goes across, and rather than letting my shoulder go where my foot is leading, I'm going to keep my shoulder back here, and then I'm going to push my hand if there were a strap or towel while holding my shoulder back. So it's kind of a push me, pull you. Let me show you if you're not putting this together yet. I'll do it real quick, then we can do it together, okay? So I have the towel. Now my other leg has to get out of the way, so it goes straight. Then I have it up straight. Opposite arm from the leg I'm holding. So if this is my right leg, I'm holding with left arm. And that leg will go across, and again, I can use the elbow and push my foot out into that towel as I pull my hip back. Okay, so before we all do it together, for anybody who has tight IT bands, and you'll know if you have them, this IT band runs down the outside of your leg, and for many people there's a burning sensation. I don't want you to be concerned if you're feeling that burning. Just know that you don't have to straighten that leg. It's just very tight there, and this could be good, as well as foam roller burning. But let's go to our back and get this done. Okay, everybody on your back, your knees are bent. Put the towel or strap in one of your feet and straighten the leg. Let the other leg stretch out to get out of the way. Put the strap or the towel into the opposite hand of the leg that's up. Other hand can be to the side or on your hip. Slowly let that leg come across your body, crossing over, and that elbow will catch you. So as the leg goes out, the elbow will catch you from rolling too far. Remember, we don't want our foot to go to the floor. Now, if it's not painful, push the heel forward on the towel or the strap and pull the hip back. And breathe. So the towel or the strap is holding my passive leg. My passive leg is hanging in the towel. The only action I've done is to straighten my knee and push my heel. Yes, breathe. Take the tension off by bending the knee first, rolling onto your back, carefully removing your strap, and then you can do the other side. I can't do that. I have to move to the other side this way. Strap or towel over your foot. Other leg out straight. Two hands, one strap, opposite. Okay, go slowly as the leg goes across the body, knowing that elbow will catch you. Pushing the heel outward, but pulling the hip backwards. Breathe through the minor discomfort. Get that sinking sensation, it's helpful. I was fighting with myself, but the more I relaxed, the better it was. Bend the knee in, roll to your back. You can put your towel or strap down on the floor as we come to happy baby. What is happy baby? Everybody wants a happy baby. So the feet come up toward the ceiling. You can lift up your head. Your palms are together. As you reach between the legs, open your hands so the hand grabs the outside of your foot. Put your feet apart so you can do that. Your thumb should be where your pinky toe is, and your fingers wrap around the outer edge. Then put your head down, not the chin, so you're not jutting your head up, or put a pillow under your head. Now, just like we did previously, I want you to drop the tailbone, because for some people, the knees are in and that bum is up. So squish your bottom down, and then like we did with the feet crossed, pull down on your feet, and be a happy baby. Deep belly breaths. Release the tension on your feet and let your knees come together and your feet drop down. Place the hands behind your head with your elbows naturally, not in front or behind, but just natural to the side with the weight of your head in your hands. Bringing your chest and your thighs together and apart. My head will never go back down to the floor. I'm just simply squeezing together through my midsection. My feet down are like weights. Use your breath out as you draw in together. Now I'm going to insert an option, and if you like what you're doing, you just keep doing this. But when I open, one leg will extend, and then the other leg will extend. You do not have to do that. You could just keep doing what we were doing. Careful you're not pulling on your neck. That's why the elbows should just be a natural position. Couple more, what do you think? Okay, instead of going to bridge pose, I'd like for you to flip over onto your belly for Sphinx pose. This can be problematic. If you know you have a condition called spinal stenosis, you might want to be a little prudent in this one, and I will give you some options for that. So what do I mean? So here's traditional Sphinx pose. Elbow and shoulders are stacked, forearms are parallel, tops of the feet are down, and I'm not hanging. My belly button is slightly lifted. I'm not lifted my hips up. I've just pulled my belly button up. Then lift up my heart and look forward. So that puts a curve in the back. And so if you already have some compromised issues in your low back, why would you make it worse? But you still want to be able to have some extension. So how about you move your hands forward, your elbows in front of your shoulders, and then when you lift up, you've mitigated the amount of arch in your back. So the belly button is lifted. Make sure you're not squeezing your tush. It will strengthen your shoulders, add flexibility in your spine, and then in a moment we'll move more dynamically away from this passive hold of Sphinx pose. So this one, you're going to move your hands, all of us, a little bit forward, but not completely straight. You'll let the elbows flare out a little bit as your chest comes down to the floor. You'll press into the palms of your hands so that your chest rises and lowers back down. Do this a few times, being mindful to roll, chest up, ribs up, then going back down. For those who say, you know, my back is not a problem, I'm so lucky, slide the hands back and make it more here. It's not for everybody, and it's always good to start in that gentle mode and make more of it if you can. So this is kind of the antithesis of what I always nag about in chaturanga, where the elbows should be in. In this case, it's okay to flare your elbows because we're focusing on our back. Okay, one more time, and you're going to move your way into a child's pose. So when you come up, walk your hands however you want to do it until you end up back in that child's pose. Take in the sensations of coming from working the back to stretching the back. So I'm going to do a little bit from my bendy toes, because you know how I feel about my bendy toes. I'm going to come up onto my hands and knees just for a moment and turn my toes under. Knowing that everybody can not do this, it's okay to stop when you need to. So my toes are turned under, I'm backing my hips toward my heels. And that flexes at the toe joint. So if you say, gotta stop that, you do that. If this is easy for you, then go ahead and sit up on your heels. And this is a position I use a lot in my garden or housework. So this is easy for me. Now, if I had a foot issue, I understand this may not be easy for other people. So if you can tolerate a little bit and then come out of it. I do the same thing with my fingers. It's not very comfortable for me to move my fingers anymore, but I do it because I know it's good for me. Okay, bring yourself to a seated position. I'll face you, you face me. I'm going to be in Sukhasana, but again, you can sit as you wish. And I'm going to open my arms to the side, drop down the right arm as you see me. And I'm going to wave at you and you wave at me with your left arm. So let that elbow remain straight through the lift and through the lower. Right hand gives support to your back as you reach over. Now I'm going to make a couple of full circles where the arm comes in front of my body, so it'll go up and then drop around in front and round to the side and up and over in front. And I'll do that one more time, and don't be alarmed if there's popping and cracking. As long as it doesn't hurt, you're good. Pause here, both arms up, left arm down. So the torso is involved, the pelvis is stationary. Now let that arm circle around in front of me 3 times. Up and around, up and around, up and around. So before we get ourselves set up for Shavasana, I want to show you what I'm going to have you do when you're down there. You'll get comfortable the way you like to do, putting something under your legs, putting something over your body to keep you warm as your body starts to cool down a little bit. But we're going to do something to quiet Now your house may not be very quiet, but we're going to take our hands when you're ready, not now, when you're already comfortable, you'll rub your hands vigorously together to create chi and energy. And then the first place we'll put them is over the eyes, blocking out our sense of vision. You'll stay there for a few breaths. Then you'll hear me say, okay, rub your hands again together. And then the second time you'll cup them over your ears. And that's a very interesting feeling. You'll kind of hear your breathing. You'll really listen to your body. I'll be kind of an echo in the background. And when I feel that we've had enough of that, I'll ask you just to put your hands where you want them comfortably. And if you need to reposition to your side or lay some other way, you can do that. So that's going to be our Shavasana for today. So get yourself into a comfy position. And then we'll do the little bit with the eyes. So once you're there, take your hands and rub them vigorously together. And you can feel the heat you're generating. And then you're going to take the hands and just kind of place them over your eyes. Okay, slowly move your hands away. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. And put the palms back together. And then begin rubbing them a little more vigorously. And this time, cup the hands over your ears. Slowly remove your hands from your ears and let them fall comfortably. Reposition yourself if you need to. Otherwise, just surrender to Shavasana, allowing the weight of your body to rest on Mother Earth, to soften around the hard edges, maybe tension in your neck or shoulders or back. Continue to dwell with the breath or move into nature and wait for the singing bowl. Let this time be yours. Deepening your breath. Wiggling your fingers and toes in a way to awaken yourself from that lovely calm. Feel free to stay or roll to your side, and here are thoughts from Carl Jung. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Certain people rub us the wrong way, and we're not exactly sure what it is about them that we don't like. Maybe it's the way they talk or look or act, but we do know we don't like them, and our reaction seems out of proportion to any particular offense. If we look closer, we may find that the irritation has nothing to do with anything these people have done or not done, but rather may simply remind us of others from our past with whom we've had problems. Or maybe they remind us of something we don't like about ourselves. What we're reacting to is something in our own history or personality. And so, thought for today, when I find myself reacting negatively to someone, I'll try to figure out if the irritation is really about me or someone from my past. I guess assigning understanding to some of our feelings is an important thing to do. Okay, sit yourself up nice and tall. Take a moment, reattach to the bandhas, to the breath, to the relaxation through the neck and the shoulders. Stretch the arms away, lift the arms up, palms together, hands at heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your week. Namaste.